This is the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 electric tricycle, a simplistic approach to an e-trike that not only gets the job done and looks good in the process, but with pretty paint jobs and catchy titles aside, how does the EVRYjourney 250 trike perform in our testing? Well, take a ride with me and let's find out. Hey there friends, and welcome to Electric Bike Report. I'm Mike East, and before we jump into this review, let me ask you, have you taken your e-bike so many places you want to start calling it your emotional support animal? If so, we understand, and hit those like and subscribe buttons to join your tribe. With that out of the way, let's jump into this review. So, there's a funny thing about e-trikes, and that is nobody thinks they need one until they do. Life just has a funny way of catching up to all of us like that, and as you can probably guess, the electric bike world has noticed, spending the last few years bridging the gap between e-bikes and access mobility. And let's be honest, e-trikes just make sense for a lot of folks. From grocery runs and errands to even taking your dog along for a ride, e-trikes make tackling all those tasks a whole lot easier. They also offer advantages like a lower standover height for easy mounting and dismounting, and of course, that reassuring stability of three-wheel design. Other practical touches like large cargo baskets sweeten the deal for those seeking a little extra help in everyday life. One standout feature of the EVRYjourney 250 trike is the gentle and smooth power delivery from the 250 watt front wheel hub motor. It just has a subtle boost that feels a bit more like natural pedaling with no jump off the start and no unsteady feeling like the bike's getting away from you like some e-bikes can feel, making this a solid entry into e-bikes for anyone who might have mobility issues, balance concerns, or heck, maybe you just haven't been on a bike in 40 years and you're wanting to dip your toes back in the biking pool. Also, check out this teal color from Sixthreezero. We think it looks pretty good, but if it's not your style, they offer 4 total colors, my personal favorite being the matte black. There's a link down below where you can check out the colors for yourself. Another standout is the larger frame integrated cargo basket, which measures to be about 19 by 23 inches. That's a pretty decent size for storing your gear on your rides. Plus, the folks over at Sixthreezero have a full lineup of customizable accessories for the basket, things like a fitted basket bag that zips up and has a carrying handle so you can grab and go. Again, check out the link in the description if you want to see the full lineup of accessories. Alright, with some of the quick highlights out of the way, let's run down the full specs of the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 trike, and then we'll jump into all of our testing data, things like speed, range, braking, and ride quality. The battery here is 36 volts, 10.4 amp hours, making a total of 374 watt hours. The brakes on the EVRYjourney are unbranded with a cable V-brake on the front tire and a drum brake for the rear wheels. Now, this bike does not have any suspension, but don't let it fool you. To me, the bike was very comfortable. Between the 3 tires and wide leather seat, it just felt good to pedal around town. The EVRYjourney trike only comes in one frame size that the folks over at Sixthreezero says supports riders between 5 foot and 6'2". I'm 5'11" and I spent hours on the bike, and like I said earlier, plenty comfortable for me. Up here in the cockpit, on the left side, you have a push throttle and a duotone LCD display that tracks your current battery, speed, and odometer, as well as pedal assist levels. The EVRYjourney is a Class 2 e-bike and it is UL certified, which is always good to see. And little add-ons here and there like 3-wheel color-matched metal fenders, reflective tires, and the nice 7-speed Shimano Tourney drivetrain that we found to actually offer usable range of gears for pedaling. And with that quick overview out of the way, let's jump into the testing data we got on the EVRYjourney 250 trike and see what you can get for under $1,000 in 2024. Alright, to give you accurate data on braking, we use a consistent approach for every bike we review. We have the same rider conduct a brake test by accelerating the bike to 20 miles an hour. But note, in this case, the EVRYjourney trike's top speed is 16 miles an hour, so just keep that in mind for this test. Then we apply brakes at a predetermined line and we measure the distance needed for the bike to come to a complete stop. And to ensure accurate results, we repeat this test 3 times and then get the average stopping distance from those 3 runs. With the EVRYjourney, we got a score of 21 feet 7 inches, and that's on the low side when comparing it to other e-trikes we've tested, which currently averages 13 feet 5 inches. And that takes me back to the brakes on the EVRYjourney. The cable V brake on the front here just doesn't get enough grip to effectively bring the bike to a stop. And in the back, there is a drum brake, but again, it's just not that effective. Now wait, it's important to dissect that term effective. Are the brakes effective in stopping the bike within our 25 feet safe braking distance? Yes, absolutely, with a few feet to spare. On the other hand, are these brakes effective enough to stop on short notice, like when a car door opens in front of you or a dog darts out? Well, that's where I start to lose confidence. I went digging through our warehouse where we have all the bikes we've tested, and I took all the trikes out for a ride. Right off the bat, I noticed all the trikes had at least one disc brake, but often it's both front and rear. So take that for what it's worth, and we'd love to see the next batch come with at least one front disc brake, and we think that would bring the EVRYjourney right in line with its class peers here in the braking department. All right, let's go outside and see how the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 trike did in our speed test. All right, so for the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 trike, I'm going to go through all 5 levels of pedal assist. I'm currently using none, so the pedal assist is off right now, and I'm in 3rd gear, going about a casual 7.5 miles an hour. So let's kick on level 1 and see where we get. So I could feel the motor just a hair, and I'd say that's going to be right around 8.5. Yep, let's go to level 2. And I can feel the motor once again, very subtle in its power distribution. And it looks like we'll be right around 9 miles an hour at level 2. So let's go to level 3. And that one I could definitely feel. And here at level 3, we are right at around 10.7 miles an hour, 10.5 miles an hour. Let's go to level 4. Here at level 4, we are right around 11.8. Looks like we will hit 12 miles an hour in pedal assist level 4. Let's go to level 5. And in level 5, it looks like we'll have no trouble. Well, 14 miles an hour. But I am giving it some pedaling assistance here. And the highest gear, 14.5, 14.0. So I'd say 14.5 is going to be, oh, it pushed upwards of 15 there. Let's see if it does it. So if I give a little more help from the legs, it looks like we can hit 15 miles an hour. Let me just do that real quick. There we go. So yeah, 15 miles an hour. But more consistently with a relaxed pedal, I saw 14.8 in that range. So there you go. Felt pretty subtle and smooth through all 5 levels. Nothing jumpy or jerky, which you wouldn't expect from this type of bike anyway. But felt good and felt smooth. All right, so for the throttle test, I'm in pedal assist level 5. I won't be using the pedal assist, but I've gone and kicked it on for the throttle to be used. We're going to use throttle only and see how long it takes the bike to get to what they quote as 16 miles an hour, but from my riding pretty extensively, I've only seen about 15.5. So I'll go ahead and call it 15 miles an hour. On your mark, get set, go. And we're off with a very subtle push off the start, which is pretty consistent with the theme of this bike. And we're now at around 10 miles an hour, 12 miles an hour, 13, 14, and time. And you'll see here, it'll go ahead and top out. Yeah, it doesn't really get much over that low 15. So, to recap, starting off, I don't use any pedal assist and I just pedal at a casual pace, typical of a cruiser. Here, my speed averaged around 7 or 8 miles an hour. Moving up to pedal assist level 1, the bike reached 8.6 miles an hour, a slight boost from my natural pace. Then I bumped it up to PAS2, where I reached a speed of 9.1 miles an hour, and I found that to be a good everyday cruising speed. Then at PAS3, the bike settled in at about 10.7 miles an hour. Moving up to PAS4, we saw 12 miles an hour, and finally at PAS5, the highest level, we saw a top speed of 15.1 miles an hour. Now for some context, the EVRYjourney 250 trike is programmed to only go up to 16 miles an hour, so those results are in line with where they should be. Frankly, the speed and power delivery of the trike is really where the EVRYjourney shines. Even at each level and switching between them, the power delivery was just subtle and smooth, and true to its trike theme. It never felt like it was overpowered or unstable. So, with speed tests behind us, let's see just how far you can go on the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 trike with our range test. When it comes to trikes, long-range capabilities might not be the first thing that comes to mind. However, since Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 is an e-bike, it's essential to put its range to the test. To thoroughly assess the trike's performance, we conducted two separate tests. First, we rode the EVRYjourney at PAS2, the ideal balance between speed on flat terrain and assistance on hills, until the battery was completely depleted. After a full recharge, we took it out again, this time at the highest setting PAS5, riding it until the battery finally surrendered. Sixthreezero claims the EVRYjourney can travel up to 50 miles on a single charge. In our PAS2 test, the trike impressively covered 36.17 miles, maintaining an average speed of 8.5 miles an hour over more than 4 hours of ride time. When we switched to PAS5, the EVRYjourney managed to cover 22.5 miles with an average speed of 14.35 miles an hour. Each pedal assist level felt really good with even power distribution at each step. For those who have stability challenges or those concerned about the power of e-bikes, this bike does not feel overwhelming in any way and embraces its cruiser trike vibes. Overall, the 250 watt motor and the relatively small 36 volt battery delivered respectable mileage, making the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 trike a reliable choice for riders seeking a balance between performance and range. So, we've seen the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 handle speed and range, but now it's time for the ultimate test, our grueling hellhole hill climb. It's a third of a mile with a punishing 12% grade, definitely not for the faint of heart. To keep things fair and consistent, we always use the same rider, Justin, for our hill test. He'll tackle hellhole twice on this bike, first using throttle only, and then again on the highest pedal assist at level 5, and see how it performs combining leg power and the motor.
Okay, here we are on the Sixthreezero. This trike's the 250 watt trike. I do not have much expectations on the throttle only, I'm gonna be honest. And I think that result just backed up my suspicions that it's not gonna be enough to make it up on throttle. So we'll turn it around and do the pedal test. Okay, we're back at it now on the pedal test of the Sixthreezero, and I don't know, we're gonna see. I've got it in its easiest gear. Trying not to like pedal too hard, but I'm already starting down to 5 miles an hour here. I'm gonna have to put some juice into it to make it up. I did raise the saddle, so I have a decent riding position, which usually on trikes I actually like to be a little lower, just from a center of gravity standpoint. So we're gonna see if it can make it through this next section here. Down to 4 miles per hour. Definitely having to push a little bit more. 3. I mean, because I'm on a trike, I don't have to worry about the balance issues, but I'm definitely having to push a little bit here. So what I'm going to do is, I don't think this would necessarily make it up for somebody that's usually buying a trike. I'm going to hold down the throttle and see if, as I pedal and throttle, if this will make it up. So yes, I'm definitely having to still push quite a bit. I'm in the saddle, I'm not off it. I think I'll make it up, but unfortunately it's not going to be comfortable. So that 250 watts, just, you know, however they got this programmed, not giving me quite enough juice to make that up. Especially if I'm not someone who rides bikes all the time. Flats, it felt fine. I didn't mind how, you know, it seemed to cap about 10 miles per hour, but up the hill, I've been constantly about 5 miles, 4 miles. On the positive side, I don't hear the motor, but that's pretty common if I'm going this slow. So I'll let you listen through this section. Let's see if it makes it. Down to 4. 3 miles per hour. I'll make it. I don't think this will end up being one of the slowest ones that we've done. I'm gonna kick off the throttle now because it got me back up to like 7 miles per hour. Oh, so even this last section here without that throttle, yeah, I'm gonna kick it back on. So if you are climbing hills on this, that's how I'm gonna recommend doing it. Put it in its easiest gear, hold down the throttle and pedal. And it kind of seems to give you enough to get through. But if you are someone with knee issues or not the strongest legs, then you're gonna struggle on this one. But we'll see, you know, we'll take it to the tape and see. Total time, my estimations, it's gonna be on the lower end, like one of the lowest that we've got. Don't know if it'll be the slowest, but at least it made it up. I did not have to get off the saddle, but I did have to push a little bit harder than I'd like.
Okay, so those results were pretty much as expected. On throttle alone, the EVRYjourney couldn't make it up hellhole. But here's the good news. With pedal assist, Justin made it up in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. And while that's not fast, it was a successful run. And for some context, we've tested a bunch of 250 watt motors, and none have made it up this hill on throttle power alone. So while these results are slow, it's still respectable when they make it up hellhole. If your neighborhood is full of hills, you might want a bike designed for more climbing power. A higher torque motor will make a big difference on those steep inclines. On the other hand, if you live somewhere relatively flat, the EVRYjourney 250 trike will likely do just fine. In our final ride, let's take a look at how the EVRYjourney trike rides and feels. We'll chat about the riding position, the overall fit, the tires, and how the motor feels when pedaling. Then we'll head back in here and wrap this up. All right, out here on the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 electric tricycle. And this bike has, as far as riding position goes, it has a real cruiser-esque riding position. You've got a nice wide handlebar here. Kind of falls into a really natural position for your hands, for the steering and handling. Now this handlebar is not adjustable, but you can adjust the seat height on this up to 43 inches. And I'd say I'm at 5'11", so that's kind of on the higher end of their range, and I think the bike fits me just fine. So if you were up there at the 6 foot or 6'2", you might find this to be just as good as I do right now. Down below, there is no suspension, but I would say that's going to be fairly typical of bikes, especially in the trike class, when you start talking about 3 wheels, rides that are kind of engineered and built for comfort and ease of use over things like speed and agility. So while there is no suspension, I do think the 3 tires they have down below, along with the wide cushion leather seat that I'm on right now, they pair up to make a pretty smooth and comfortable ride overall, and I wouldn't say that you would even need suspension on this bike. And speaking of those tires, there's 3 of these tires, and they are 26 by 1.95 inch Ponley street tires. So they have very semi-slick tread pattern on them. And I will say at 26 inches, that's on the larger side for tricycle or e-trike tires. And what that does in turn is it elevates your center of gravity just a bit, because if you were to take those hubs and measure them from the hub down to the ground on, say, a bike with 14-inch tires, it'd be a few inches lower overall. And so when you have a raised higher center of gravity, that's just something to keep in mind when you do things like going around corners. I've found that I'm slowing down to around somewhere between 4 and 6 miles an hour for any kind of serious turn. Now, a bend in the road like this in front of us, you don't even notice it. But if you were going to make an actual right turn, left turn, turn around, that's when you'd want to slow down, keeping in mind the higher center of gravity you have with these 26-inch tires. This motor is activated by a cadence sensor, and to give you an idea of how quick it takes for that to turn on, I'm going to go slow here, and I'm going to go start pedaling now. And right there, so I about a full turn, and the motor did kick on. Now, one thing I'd like to point out, that's an area that this bike really shines. I had that on PAS level 5, and I started pedaling. Now, normally on a cadence sensor at PAS level 5, If it was a different class of bike, say an EMTB or a commuter or even some cruiser bikes, pedal assist 5 with cadence sensors, I would have normally felt a little bit of jump off the start or a little jerkiness in the acceleration because it would really be trying quickly to give all that power. But they've done a good job over at Sixthreezero with making sure this bike stays true to its theme of laid back comfort and stability by giving you a nice gentle nudge of speed. Even if it takes it all the way up to 15 miles an hour, it's never overbearing, never has a quick start, never has anything jumpy off the line, which I think you can appreciate if you're someone who's looking for this type of bike, and especially if you're somebody with any kind of mobility or balance concerns. That just further lends to the confidence that this bike will give you, as it's got more of a beefed up stability than that of a two-wheel bike. Overall, the bike has been enjoyable. The ride comfort is good, and we'll go ahead and head inside and wrap this up. One thing you need to accept about e-trikes is that they handle completely different from regular bikes. Think of them as a whole different animal. Sure, the EVRYjourney has that comfy, upright cruiser bike vibe, but the ride feel is its own thing. For starters, trikes need you to pay a bit more attention to speed, especially when you're cornering. With a regular bike, you lean into that turn. With a trike, leaning is useless. The bike won't follow. In fact, if you're leaning the trike and you lean outward, you might be getting close to an actual tip over. On my rides, I found myself slowing down to about 5 to 7 miles an hour for sharp turns to keep all three wheels on the ground, which brings up another point, the tire height. The EVRYjourney's 26-inch tires feel good on the road, but they do affect the handling. Smaller tires mean a lower center of gravity, and most e-trikes I've tested have tires in the 13 to 16-inch range. That extra height on the EVRYjourney means a slightly tippier feel and a taller step-over height to get on and off, something important if stability is a concern. Overall, the EVRYjourney is comfy, stable, and just plain fun to ride. The wide seat and three-wheel design had me cruising for days. But if a lower center of gravity and easy step-over height are your top priorities, consider something like the Easy Transit 750 folding trike, also from Sixthreezero, with its smaller tires and lower frame. Overall, the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 electric tricycle is a reliable trike with a little room to grow. We're looking forward to seeing where Sixthreezero takes this model in the future. Upgrades like a front disc brake would be a huge improvement, significantly boosting braking power and bringing it more in line with its competitors. Downsizing the tires to 13 or 14 inches would also enhance stability by lowering that center of gravity and making it even easier to mount and dismount, a major plus for riders who value a secure riding experience. Where the EVRYjourney truly shines is its 250-watt front hub motor. The smooth, measured power delivery is a solid match for this type of e-trike. There's no surprises or jumpy acceleration, even at PAS 5. The power just feels well tuned across all assist levels and in throttle mode only. Bottom line, the Sixthreezero EVRYjourney 250 electric tricycle offers solid range, smooth power, and a fun color palette in a no-frills package. If you're searching for an approachable and enjoyable e-trike experience, this is definitely a contender. Alright friends, thanks for checking out the EVRYjourney 250 trike with me. If you haven't already, go ahead and like and subscribe to see which new e-bike we review next. Take care.